Alright, ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world. Let's talk some boxing. So, I have in front of me here a response by a certain person. First of all, this guy's responding to a video from Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. And Ishe Smith was explaining why he thought Andre Ward won the fight. And this very racist guy, he comes with the comment, boxing for life, boxing for life. He says, "You monkey bias bum, Kovalev kicked his butt." Right? Now, I usually don't respond to racist people, so I'm not responding to this dude. What happened was I went into why does this guy think that Kovalev won the fight? How do you break it down? And in doing so, the guy he couldn't really respond. He was talking about some other guy, Larry Merchant, who we know really all he likes is blood and gore and guts and knockouts. So Larry Merchant obviously is going to think that Kovalev won the fight just based on the fact that he knocked Ward down. As to boxing for life, I don't really think of him as a boxing fan to start with, so I don't really care about him. But the person who was very interesting here is IMA831. And IMA831, he said Kovalev won the 10th round clearly. For example, all the judges gave that round to Ward. Only with that, if Kovalev, of course, won the round, Kovalev's already won. Kovalev had more initiative and gave more punches. Ward touched the ground. It was enough to win. Ward was not superior to Kovalev in the second part. Only equals in the fight. Okay, I guess he's trying to say that if Ward dominated him in the second part of the fight, it would still be a drawn match, and then the knockdown would have to be factored in. Now, to be fair to IMA831, there are other boxers who saw the fight who thought that sort of way. So I'm not really mad at him. But I responded to him saying, so you thought that Kovalev clearly won round 10, right? What made him, in your opinion, win the round? And he responded by saying, Kovalev gave more blows. But we know that's not that's not proper boxing language, but I get what he's saying. He's saying he landed more punches. Was more aggressive. He doesn't know about effective aggression, but it is whatever. And gave more power punches. Again, he doesn't understand what really allows a fighter to win a round, but it's okay. And none of the judges gave him 10 points. You have videos that analyze the round. He said, I have videos that analyze the round. I think he's asking me a question. Do you have videos that analyze the round? So I gave him a video which showed that, you know, just by your assumption, first of all, that the round was Kovalev's round. Doesn't necessarily mean the judges would have seen it that way, seeing that they're in different positions in the ring. And I just gave him a video to show him how one guy, I think it was Michael Montero, he was saying he couldn't understand how anyone could give round 10 to Ward. And I just showed that different positions, this guy couldn't see the punches that landed. But what I'm going to do, for his sake, I'm going to go through the actual round 10. Now, another YouTube channel did this. He covered round 10. And not just in terms of punches landed, because punches landed don't mean much. Sometimes a punch is not effective. It didn't land cleanly, but people count it. Or sometimes the punch just touched a boxer. It barely touched them, and people count that punch. We're not talking about that kind of punch. When we talk about clean punching, we're talking about a punch that clearly hit the opponent. And that's what you give points to. Now, ticky-tack punches. The second thing is, when we talk about aggression, IMA831, we're talking about effective aggression. So Kovalev being the aggressor throughout the fight really doesn't mean anything. And he wasn't the aggressor throughout the fight, in fact, if you understand inside boxing, but that's another story for another day. And then the other thing is that You said that Kovalev gave more blows. I'm assuming you mean landed more punches, and that he had more power punches in round 10. We're going to investigate that and see how true that really is. Okay? I know Kovalev was throwing, maybe more than Ward, maybe less. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to examine round 10. But before I go into the actual, forensics and the examination of round 10, I just wanted to bring to you guys attention about something else about this fight, right? So here we see Andre Ward's record right now after that fight, and we see Sergey Kovalev's record after that fight. Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev shared a common opponent in Darnell Boone. And Sergey Kovalev had to fight Darnell Boone twice. Okay? He faced Darnell Boone the second time, I believe, back in 2012. And in that fight, he eclipsed Darnell Boone. At first, he was having difficulty with him in the first round. And in the second round, he just blew him away. He knocked him out, got him out of there. Now, he faced Darnell Boone back in 2010, 2 years before, and he squeaked out a split decision win over Darnell Boone. Okay? And Darnell Boone came in, at least on the way in, the smaller guy. So think about that now. Andre Ward also faced Darnell Boone. When Andre Ward faced Darnell Boone, it was early in his career. It was in his sixth fight, or seventh, I think it was his seventh fight, when he faced Darnell Boone. But what Darnell Boone was able to do to Andre Ward was he was able to hurt Andre Ward. Kovalev didn't hurt Andre Ward as bad as Darnell Boone did. He caught Andre Ward with a punch Andre Ward truly didn't see. It was a right uppercut through the guard of Andre Ward as he was dipping down, coming back up. Timed it perfectly. He had been practicing that shot on Andre Ward throughout the fight. Andre Ward was dominating him, and then he caught him with that shot. Darnell Boone was the same guy who was able to knock out Adonis Stevenson while Adonis Stevenson was coming into him for the kill. My point being, Darnell Boone is a dangerous character, and while he was beaten comprehensively by Andre Ward, you see that he gave him trouble. He was able to beat Adonis Stevenson, even though Adonis Stevenson was coming in to close off and kill him. And what Darnell Boone, the lesson Darnell Boone teaches you is you have to always be defensively responsible throughout a fight. Andre Ward made a mistake against Darnell Boone, and so did Adonis Stevenson. And Sergey Kovalev had a difficult time with Darnell Boone because Darnell Boone has a pretty good Michigan kind of style of defense in that he rolls punches quite well, actually. And even Ward couldn't really land flushly on him. So Sergey Kovalev had a tough time against Darnell Boone the first time. Now, my point being this. If you look at how both fighters responded to a black slick fighter in Darnell Boone who posed certain problems to them, Sergey Kovalev actually had more difficulty than Andre Ward in handling Darnell Boone. But that's just the way Darnell Boone is. He's gonna expose, and he's gonna make you want to up your game after you finish fighting him, because he's gonna test certain aspects of your game, right? Now, why I say that is because how you're able to handle adversity, how you're able to adjust and adapt to that adversity was the key ingredient here in this fight. Andre Ward was able to adjust to Sergey Kovalev much better and much faster and much more effectively than Sergey Kovalev was able to adjust to Andre Ward, and that's because of the tools and the knowledge that Andre Ward had. Andre Ward has much more extensive tools than Sergey Kovalev has, and he also has much more extensive experience than Sergey Kovalev has at the top level. So these are some of the things you must bear in mind. Andre Ward faced Darnell Boone early in his career, Sergey Kovalev later in his career. All of these things are very important things for you to understand. So Sergey Kovalev is still growing as a fighter. Andre Ward has seen it all, and he has a lot of experience, so that under any condition, Andre Ward is prepared for it. Now, let's get to the actual judging of the fight. But before I go into that, let me do two things. First, I want to show you what the actual people, press row, thought about the fight. But let's go into some facts first. Some of the facts of the fight. When we look at the actual punch stats of the fight, Kovalev landed 10 more punches overall, right? Of course, the fight is scored round by round, so we'll look at the round by round punches thrown. So when you look at punches thrown and landed round by round, Kovalev started off strong in round 1, dominated in round 2. Ward took round 3. Kovalev took round 4, according to this. I'll tell you my views on the thing in a minute. Kovalev took round 5 by Ward took round 7, round 8, round 9. Kovalev took round 10. Ward took 11, and Kovalev took round 12. This is the punch stats. This does not mean just because a punch landed. It depends on how CompuBox actually tallies these punches. But it doesn't mean because a punch landed that means that it was an effective punch. It could have just touched Andre Ward, you know. Then we're talking about jabs. Strangely, as much as people talk about Kovalev's jab as being very effective in the fight, Ward landed more jabs. Very important point to remember. Overall, in terms of power punches, Kovalev landed more power punches. All right. So that the gentleman here, he said that this is throughout the fight, I'm assuming, he gave more power punches, right? But the thing about it is this. If you're looking at round 10, let's see. I think in round 10, I don't know what happened in round 10, so let's just look at the information from the punch stats. Overall in round 10, Kovalev landed more punches. This is what round 10 is saying. I don't know how true it is. I'll have a look and I'll tell you what I think in a minute. But the point is, this is the data that's there, okay? Now, you can agree with it or disagree with it. It's something we have to rely on. It's factual data. Well, let's move on here. So that's the CompuBox. Now, Dan Rafael. Dan Rafael believes that round 12 went to Ward. He still had Kovalev winning, but he thought Ward won round 12. Now, according to CompuBox stats, CompuBox says that in terms of punches landed, Kovalev should win round 12. But here is Dan Rafael contradicting himself, it seems. But he's not. Because it's not just that you land a punch, it's what kind of punch was landed. These qualitative things are very important. How powerful was that punch? Did that punch allow you to control the round? Another very important thing that you have to look at is the connect percentage, because that shows the accuracy of the fighter, the precision of the fighter, and the effectiveness of the fighter. Ward only threw at 34.4% connect percentage. Kovalev 26.6%. Connect percentage, again, kind of tells you who's in control of the fight. And why I say that's very important is because this connect percentage is closer to what Andre Ward usually throws, and this percentage here is less than what Sergey Kovalev is usually at. Sergey Kovalev is usually at 31%. Okay? Very important points. And if you look throughout the fight, Sergey Kovalev's percentages basically drop below what he normally would do in a fight, whereas Andre Ward's own is either superseded or it was around about the percentage that he usually does in fights. So Ward looked more like Ward, Kovalev looked below what Kovalev is. These are very important points. Yes, Kovalev knocked down Ward, it's an extra point, and it's a big point. But I think, what fight was it? I can't remember. Someone was fighting someone, I can't remember, for a championship. It was one of the lower weight classes. It was a Japanese dude versus an English dude, right? And the English dude got dropped early, right? But he came back to win the fight. Why? Because not only did he restore himself, but also be able to overcome the knockdown, but in addition to that, he was the more tactical guy who was fighting his fight. When we look at Carl Frampton versus Alejandro Gonzalez Jr., Alejandro Gonzalez Jr. knocks down Frampton, I think in the second round as well as the fight. Frampton comes back from that to take over the fight and to become again the guy Carl Frampton everybody knew and understood. And the point being that in fights like these, just because you knock down someone early doesn't necessarily mean that you got the fight in the bag. And another thing that people don't realize is if you pay attention, you will see that Kovalev had a huge advantage. In fact, most of his advantage, which was a 10 punch advantage to Andre Ward, most of that came in the second round. See? Here, he's more than 13 punches ahead of Ward. But Ward started to make that back up by getting this huge 6-point advantage here. He lost five punches here. But he always gained one punch here and there. And because of that, Ward was able to make it back up. Now, if you look at this punch stat scoring, I think you get it 6-6, right? But that's not really how the fight went. But let's just keep it going here. So at ringside, we have Tom Craze. He thought that Ward won at 116, 111. I don't know how he got that one. That one I don't understand. I'm sorry. Ward did do some fantastic body work, and that's why I said punch stats don't really truly reflect where these punches are landed and the accuracy of them. But it is what it is. This guy had 116, 111 for Ward. I don't know how he could get that because, one, Ward won't have it 116. There's no way. You lose 2 points for the knockdown in round 2. You're not going to have 116. You can have 115, 112, 115, 112. Yeah, not 116, 111. I think he made a mistake there. Chris Mannix, he gave the last round to Ward, but he has Kovalev squeezing out a win, 115, 112. That is possible, 115, 112. That would be, I believe that would be 8 rounds to 4. Somehow that's wrong, though. 115, 112 would be wrong because Ward had a 2-point penalty. So, if anything, that score would have been even. I don't know how he got 115, 112. It's not possible. Not in modern day scoring, at least. Phil DJ, he says, my WBN scorecard on Sergey Kovalev versus Andrew Ward. You have to go to worldboxingnews.net. Boxing Monthly, they had it 114, 113 for Kovalev with the knockdown being decisive. That means 6 rounds each. Day 1, Kovalev had the knockdown. Chris Mannix says Andrew Ward gets the decision 114, 113 on all 3 judges' cards. Can't complain about that. It was a close fight. He didn't really give his scorecard. Tom Craze says he doesn't understand the white Kovalev cards. Honestly, Lederman, Raphael only know how to score on aggression. But even with that, it's a stretch. But Tom Craze, you kind of a stretch too because you kind of gave a wide scorecard there. So, yes, I do agree with Tom Craze that if you missed Andrew Ward's body work, it would have been easy to miss the rounds he won. That is true. But at the same time, Ward did land some really clean, crisp body shots. So you can't really, it was not something you could pretty much avoid. All right. So I just wanted to go through those as well as I wanted to show you the judges' scorecard for round 10. So what IMA831 was saying is that how did the judges score round 10? All of them unanimously for Andrew Ward. So if you look at round 10 here, this is Andrew Ward's scores right here. This is Sergey Kovalev's scores right here. In round 10, Sergey Kovalev gets 9 points for that round, and Andrew Ward gets 10 points, according to this judge. I don't know who judge this is. This is Judge John McHale. Judge Bert Clemens. He scored round 10, 10-9 for Ward. And Glenn Trowbridge, he also scored round 10, 10-9 for Ward. So all 3 judges scored round 10 to Ward. And according to this gentleman, he's like the guy, Michael Montero. He's saying, how on earth the judges could have given him round 10? All 3 of the judges gave him round 10? Andrew Ward? How? So let's go look at the fight and let's see if we can see Andrew Ward winning that round. And he says, according to IMA, Kovalev was clearly won round 10. Let's see if Kovalev clearly won round 10 as well. So we're going into here. This is round 10 in front of us. This is on YouTube. Combat Sports Videos is the video. Shout out to Combat Sports Videos for covering it inside of the arena. And that's huge that you're covering it inside the arena. I'm just going to kind of centralize it so you guys can watch. I'm not going to necessarily slow it down. I may stop the action at certain points, depending. I just want you guys to see. I'm not just about points landing and who's touching one another, but also who's effective. So let's get into it. Should we do this at real speed or should we do this at slowed down speed? Maybe we'll mix it up, all right? If you want to adjust speed settings, you just go right here, okay? So let's go into it, all right? Hopefully YouTube doesn't pull down this video. So for those of you who wanted to see this video, and for the benefit of you guys, I'm going to actually do this video. Now listen, I'm going to tell you guys straight off that if you want to see this video, keep on seeing this video, and I'm going to just go through the round. then you have to, ensure that you are fair. If you go reporting me for this video, and some people are just nasty like that, they will report me so I can get a strike on my channel. If you guys are going to report me for this video, then why should I do it? I'm doing this video for you guys, for your benefit, for you to look at the round, for you to evaluate the round, for you to judge the round. If you don't want me to do it, then just tell me so I don't do it. I don't want to get a strike on my channel. Okay? So if any of you have a bad mind, you don't want me to do this video because it exposes something or something you didn't want to hear, I'm not really about that. If Kovalev won the round, I'm going to say that. In my opinion, when I judged the fight, I gave this round to Kovalev. Let me just tell you guys that in advance. I gave it to him. I don't know if he really got it, but that's the impression I got. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Was it a clear round to judge? I don't think so. I remember D-Style Boxing going through round 10, but I saw him pull down that video of round 10, so I don't know what happened. Somebody may have reported him. Who knows? People in this world, when they see something that is facts and they don't like what they see, a lot of people react differently. And some people, they try to attack the messenger and not the message. The message still stays there. So regardless of whether some of you attack me for this video, if it doesn't go your way, or even if it doesn't go my way, I tell the truth, and then some of you guys are angry with me and you attack me for this video, understand, I don't really care about which way this video goes. Whatever way this video goes, I'm cool, because I just wanted to break down what happened in the ring there. Okay? Now, judges judge on criteria. Clean, effective punching. Listen to me carefully. It must be clean, and it also must be effective. It doesn't make sense if it's clean and it's ineffective. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter if it's effective. Even though it needs to be clean, though. It needs to be something clearly seen. Okay, I did hit this dude. Okay, so ticky-tack punches are not included. You gotta hit the person fully on their thing. And of course, if it's effective, it will produce results. There are some people who are just pity-pat punchers, and they punch you in the face, but the person comes straight through on them and knocks them out. Why we look at effective punching is because, for instance, Andre Ward did a lot of work in round 1. Sergey Kovalev hit him with one jab, buckled him, and we weight that punch that buckled Ward a lot more than all those punches Ward hit Sergey Kovalev with, because you have to remember, in boxing, you can get a knockout. So the effectiveness of a punch is also very important. Now, some people put too much weight on one punch versus somebody who has been cumulatively landing punches. When you think of Timothy Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao, Bradley got the head start because he had a lot more activity, even though his punches were not as powerful as Pacquiao's. So depending on who's judging the fight, they put more weight on one punch, a punch that really... But if the punch really seriously damages a fighter, then you have to factor that punch in, because it only takes 1 to 2 punches to knock out a fighter. Remember, this is also qualitative as well as quantitative. So it's not just who lands more punches, it's also how effective those punches were, right? It's also how clean those punches were. You have to look at that. Then you have defense. So the guy who's more defensive is making the other guy miss, making the guy obviously miss, and it's like so obvious. And he's countering, especially if he's countering on that guy. That guy's defense, you have to factor it in a fight. The other things are ring generalship, who's really fighting whose fight. So if Andre Ward is fighting Andre Ward's fight, and Kovalev's not fighting his fight, he's uncomfortable, then you got to give Andre Ward ring generalship. Because it's not who's the aggressor, it's who's in charge. That's what you got to pay attention to. Who's doing what they want to do. And finally, you have defense, you have clean, effective punching, you have ring generalship, you have, what did I miss out? Did I say clean, effective punching? I said that. I said defense, I said ring generalship, and there's one more thing, effective aggression. Aggression alone doesn't mean squat. A guy coming forward, pushing another guy back, or a guy moving around the ring and pot-shotting another guy, it doesn't mean anything unless it's actually producing any effect on the other fighter. Meaning, if I'm moving around the ring and I'm pot-shotting another guy, but I'm slowing him down because I'm strategic in where I'm hitting him, then that's effective. If I am chasing down a guy and cutting off the ring and I'm hitting him to the body and I'm getting him up top to the head and he's slowing down, then I'm effective. So effective aggression has to do with not missing punches, but you must land, but not only landing punches, but it must have an effect on the other opponent. If you're slowing them down, if you're hurting them, if they're getting groggy, if they're not doing the things they were doing before, all of these things mean you are effective. Got it? So now that we've got all of that stuff out the way, that's what the judges look at. It's not just a volume of punches landed. It's not just the power. It's not just pure aggression. No, it has to be effective. So that's what judges look at all around. So in round 10, that's what the judges were looking at, meaning that what happened in round 9 would translate to round 10 to some degree, even though round 10 is an independent round, and it would be influenced by the flow of the fight. So let's go into that from there. So I think you guys understand. Let's go to the time. So you see the boxers and the referee there boxing right now. You see Andre Ward charge into Sergey Kovalev at this point in time, and he threw two punches. He threw a jab and then a left hook, and Sergey pushed him off. Did you see that? I hope you did. Both fighters missed their punches, but notice that Sergey Kovalev went into a clinch with Andre Ward, and Andre is clinching him up top. This is old school inside fighting. There is a body punch. Did you see that? It was right here. It was a liver shot. And that was above the belt, just on the belt line above it. There is a second body shot. So we've had two body shots by Andre Ward. Those are effective punches because, as you can see, Sergey Kovalev does not like it and he's trying to tie up Andre. That was a beautiful straight jab that caught Andre Ward in his face. That was a beautiful setup. Andre Ward slipped the jab, but Sergey Kovalev was able to land a beautiful uppercut between Andre Ward's guard and then pull out of there. So Sergey Kovalev had two very effective punches. Andre Ward has had two effective punches. Sergey Kovalev had two headshots. He had a jab and he had an uppercut, and Andre Ward had two body punches, both to the liver region. Let's keep it going. Okay, in this case, Andre Ward was very successful at landing his jab on Sergey Kovalev, and you saw Sergey Kovalev's head snap back. Sergey Kovalev also threw a jab at the same time, but it was caught by Andre Ward. So Andre Ward now has three very effective clean punches. Sergey Kovalev has two. Nothing of any consequences landed by either fighter so far. Again, nothing of consequences landed by either fighter. I thought Sergey would have tried to land a body shot there, but it actually didn't hit. Let's keep it going. Alright, Sergey is right now southpaw. But what's very important is you realize Sergey, even though he's walking down Andre is keeping range. So Andre is exactly where he wants to be. Sergey's going southpaw to try and have some more success. He's going back orthodox. Ooh. Well, that was very effective by Andre, so he has now landed 4 very clean shots on Sergey. Sergey has landed 2 really good clean shots, a jab, and he also had a right uppercut. Andre has just landed his 4th shot, and you saw Sergey's head snap back, right? So very effective. Good little jab there by Sergey. And he just landed his jab right there. But the interesting thing is Andre was pushing back Sergey there. But that, again, it's just to maintain distance. Sergey's an outside fighter. And you can see Sergey putting his forearm on Andre's head. This is to either pull him into a clinch or to get position so he can land a overhand right on Andre's head. Let's see what happens. He just pushes him off. Then he's throwing a jab. He caught him with a jab there. Right, so now it's 4 apiece. Kovalov just caught Andre Ward with a jab to the side of his head. He wasn't able to block it. It wasn't a heavy jab or anything, but it served its purpose. Andre pivoting out the way. Okay, now Andre caught the jab that Sergey was throwing at him. I can just rewind it for you guys to see. I'll actually slow it down so you can see that. Slow it down a little bit so you can see that Andre actually caught the jab. You're going to see it right here. See, Andre caught that jab right there. Let me show you it again. I'm going to wait a little bit. Okay, Andre actually hit Sergey with a jab as well. I didn't see that one. I'm not going to count it though. It's still 4 apiece. I actually didn't see when Andre stabbed Sergey to the body either, so I missed 2 very important shots. Sorry, here it is, right? See Sergey there. Andre caught that jab. Sergey was going to throw, but Andre was out of range. There it is. He caught the jab and he hit Sergey with the jab, so it's 5-4 now. Okay. All right, let's just go back to real speed. I don't like to go slowly because the round is gonna disappear rather quickly. Jab to the body. Now, the only thing I want to say here, even though Andre hit a jab to the body, I want to see if Sergey actually hit him with his right hand. I think that his left hand. See if Sergey hit him with his left hand with that jab. Let's just take a look at that again. Where Andre catches him right there. Okay, so from this angle you can see that Andre landed the jab to the body, which is 6-4. Sergey misses everything else, and it looks like Andre caught Sergey's shot, but from this angle I can't be absolutely sure. You'd have to see it from another angle, but as a judge, judging from this angle, it looks like a 6-4. Sergey hasn't landed anything else. I could be wrong. Oh, there's another jab to the body by Andre. That's 7-4. Now, jabs to the body are very effective because there are 2 things that it's doing. And Sergey, obviously, you can see he's weakened as well. He's not as strong as he was in the beginning of the fight. If you guys didn't know, I can't do the video beginning of the fight, but you can see the difference. But right now, I just freeze it up for you guys to understand something. So, Andre just did another jab to the body. These are very effective shots. Because body shots, especially somebody moving into you and you hit them with a jab to the body, it sucks the wind out of them, and that's what happened with Sergey in this fight. So it's 7-4 anyway. Nice little straight right to the body right there on Andre by Sergey. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was a straight right to the body. That's a good shot. So 6-5. Now, for those people who are saying that this round was clearly Sergey Kovalov's round, I just don't see it, right? This round is up for grabs. Oh, nice little shot there. That's a jab to the head there by Sergey. It's 6-all. So this round is right now dead even in terms of effective, clean punching, and both fighters are kind of getting to do what they want to do. So there's nobody who's really the true ring general. The pace, however, of the fight is actually Andre Ward's pace. This is what Andre Ward wants, and Andre Ward likes to be in the center of the ring. So Andre Ward, this is more an Andre Ward fight right now. But nonetheless, this round is still up for grabs. So let's see what happens. Nothing happened there. There's a jab to the body again by Andre Ward. You have to pay attention to that. Andre Ward, since even when he was fighting against Darnell Boone, that jab to the body is a very effective jab. Okay, let's keep it going. So Andrew Ward again just nudges ahead 7-6. Okay, now while Kovalev was hit with a check hook by Andrew Ward, he did roll that punch. So it looks flashy, but it still wasn't as effective as if he was caught flush with that check hook. And the other cool thing about it is Sergey is able to pivot off his foot, which I thought was very good, very well done. He rolled the shot, pivot off his foot. Now, even though I'm going to score the shot for Andrew Ward, I want to say, if some of you decide that this is not an effective punch, I'm totally with you on that, because it's more flashy than it is effective. A check hook is just to get a guy off balance. It served its purpose because Sergey was coming down a certain line. Andrew was able to change the line on Sergey, but Sergey was able to quickly adjust and face Andrew Ward once again, so that Andrew Ward wouldn't attack him, surprise attack him at a T angle and really just dust him for a second and pull back out, right? So it did kind of do what it was supposed to do, which is to catch Sergey off balance, but Sergey pretty much adjusted to that rather quickly. So in the end, it's really up to you if you want to consider that an effective shot or not. So it's either 7-6 right now or 8-6. Andrew Ward up by just a shot or two. Jab to the body. Now that's a nasty jab to the body because he didn't even jerk out. He jabbed and he got onto the inside. And the reason he wants to get on the inside, you're going to find out. As you can see, Sergey has locked him up, but there's a reason why. Okay? That's a nasty jab to the body, though. That's a really effective one. That's 9-6 or 8-6. It's up to you which one you want to pick. Now, these are arm punches, but the more effective arm punches there are by Andrew Ward digging to, again, the liver area of Sergey. You can see Sergey leaning in because of those body shots. And Sergey did do some two kind of headshots, kind of rabbit shots to the head. But really, the guy who's more effective with the body punching just a minute ago, was 3 body shots just a minute ago, was Andrew Ward. Now, you can count all 3. They're kind of arm punches, but they really do hurt. It's up to you, really. Or you can just do one, because, you know, they're not the same as if you get full leverage on the shot. So it's really up to you. But the thing about it is, this is Andrew Ward's fight right now. Right now, Andrew Ward is in his element in fighting. And so this is definitely his territory. This is not Sergey's. So for all those reasons, Andrew Ward is winning this round right now. It's not just the punches, but it's whose fight is who fighting. And Sergey is fighting Andrew Ward's fight, period, right now. So anyway, having said that, it's up to you. I have added 3 punches. I'll break it down. I'll give Andrew Ward 2 punches. So we're looking at 11-6. Okay, Sergey ain't landed nothing since then. I gave Ward 2 punches. I have him up 9, so it's 11-6. If you give him 3 punches and you had him up 8, it's still 11-6. So that's how we're gonna keep it, right? You see Andrew Ward just tapping him to the body, up top and then down here. He's just tapping him to the body. These are not really effective punches, so you don't have to worry about them. He's just touching him. Oh, he dug to the body right there before Sergey could pull him off. See that little dig to the liver, and then Sergey pivots out the way? That's because that punch really hurt Sergey. So he was tapping him, and then he dug to the body. That's a good punch. It's 12-6 we're talking about. Well, you can see right here, Sergey totally missed his punch, and Ward just caught Sergey with a 1-2. So that goes from 12 to 14 to 6. Sergey still hasn't landed anything of worth. Ward was, oh my gosh, Ward was coming with a 1-2-3. So he was trying to knock him out. Sergey pulled out of the way just before that could happen, which is very good. Alright, let's keep this going. Sergey throws his 1-2, and then he's throwing a jab. Oh, he caught him with the jab too. Caught him with the jab. So now it's, what is it, 14-7. Let's see if the momentum of the fight is about to change. Okay, Sergey hits him with a jab, a pretty good one, and Ward also hits him with a jab, I think. Let's slow that down and have a look at it. Actually, that one too actually missed Sergey and hit him on the shoulder. So let's give Sergey some credit there. So it's not 14, it's 12. Okay, it's 12, and I think it's to 7. I'm gonna see. Right. There's the punch that landed. That's the 7. Oh no, it's 8. So I'm gonna have it 12 to 8. He caught him with another punch. In slow motion, you can see a lot more. So it's 12 to 8. Okay, I'm gonna speed it back up. 12 to 8 there. Okay. Now I think they trade jabs there. I'm not too sure. I think they trade jabs. Let me slow it down and see. Actually, Ward's slipped out the way of that other punch. It's so tough to do these things, but this punch landed. So it's really 12-7 so far. Man, when you watch these fights, man, there's so much stuff going on. There it is. You saw Ward get hit. So that's 12-8. And I don't think Ward landed his punch, so it's 12-8. Good stuff. They're on the inside right now. There's a body shot. That's 13-8 right now. Okay, they both definitely landed jabs there. So 14-9. They both landed jabs again. Kovalov's though was the more effective jab of the two. So I'm going to give Kovalov 2 points for that. So I'm going to give him 11, 15-11. What's showboating? I don't think that's a good idea. And he got caught with a jab because of that. So that's 15-12. Caught him with a little check hook there. It's 15-13. See, it's a close fight, close round. Missed that punch. Caught him with a buddy punch though. Definitely caught him with a buddy punch. So that's 16-13. Ward's still up by 3, which is kind of strange, but that's what it is. Doesn't mean Sergey's not gonna get him. Misses those 2 punches to miss. Caught him with a body shot. Caught him with a good body shot there. So that's 16-4. Kovalov caught him with a good body shot. This other shot here is an arm punch. I don't know if you want to count it. It'd be 16-15. That's the end of the round. So what I'm trying to show you guys, right? You guys saw I tried to be as unbiased as possible. This round was up for grabs. And remember, I said earlier on that one of the points I actually scored extra with the body shots. I scored 2 of the body shots. Some people might score 3 of the body shots, and then before that there was another shot that Ward hit Kovalov. So it could have easily been 15-15, right? It was a very, very close round like that. But you can't just look at punches landed, effective punches. You have to ask yourself, who was in charge of that round? And clearly that's an Andre Ward round, because Kovalov, his punch output is usually higher. And you can see Kovalov was basically playing Andre Ward's chess match game, and Andre Ward was winning that one because Andre Ward was in his element. He was getting to land his shots to the body. He was getting on the inside and landing his shots. So it really is, who's the ring general in that? Yes, Kovalov did land some clean, effective punches, and you remember I doubled up on a punch. I gave him 2 points for that punch because it was so effective. It was a much more effective punch. But at the end of the day, when you look at that round, if you're really paying attention, Ward outpointed Kovalov in that round for sure, just slightly. And the other thing is, Ward is able to do that because Ward was controlling the fight at this time in the juncture. So what I'm trying to say is, depending on your angle at which you saw this round, depending on how the flow of the fight was going, and that the momentum had changed from Kovalov's momentum in the beginning of the fight to Ward's, you would score this fight for that round for Andre Ward. It depends on how you were looking at it. For me, I can easily score that an Andre Ward round. Easily. Right? But I could see it from the other side that, okay, Sergey Kovalev did better than he did in round 9 when Andre Ward hit him into the ropes. So I might give it to Sergey Kovalev because he did better, and I favor Sergey Kovalev's style. So it really depends on how you favor a style sometimes, because that round was pretty close. I had Ward edging out the round in terms of points, as you could clearly see when I think, what did I say the final figures were? 16-15 or something like that? 17-15, whatever it was. And on top of that, I thought Sergey Kovalev was fighting Ward's fight. He wasn't fighting his fight. So those two things immediately give me Andre Ward's round. And then, though Sergey Kovalev was throwing a lot of punches, he wasn't landing some of those punches. Sergey Kovalev was throwing punches. Ward was the one with the better defense, in my opinion. The clean, effective punching, Ward was landing more. But I gave Sergey Kovalev the edge on that because Sergey Kovalev had more power than Ward. But at the end of the day, nobody did anything outstanding. Sergey Kovalev didn't drop him. He didn't cause Ward to stagger. He didn't hurt him visibly. So I couldn't give Sergey Kovalev more than I gave him for that round. That's the highest I can give him is 15. Yeah, right? But Ward, you can give him 17, 18. You know, you can even the lowest you can give him is 15. But you can give him all the way up to 18 if you wished. Right? And my point being this. That's why the judges gave that round, even that round, to Ward. So, for this guy here, IMA831, he's saying all the judges gave Ward 10 points for that round. I can see that happening. Now, I personally, I told you, before I evaluated this round, I had given this round to Kovalev. And I think I gave it because he performed better than round 9, 8, 7, 6, and round 5. Now, some people say Kovalev won round 6. I didn't see it either. I didn't see how Kovalev could win round 6. Okay? I thought that the momentum had changed, and Ward had mostly the momentum of every single round from there on in. And if you don't believe me, there's an easy way to look at it. Kovalev hurt Ward in round 1. He hurt Ward in round 2. But he never, when I say hurt, he staggered him or he dropped him, right? But from round 3 onwards, Kovalev never again hurt Andre Ward like he did in rounds 1 and 2. He never did. Right? And if you're being honest with yourself, go watch the fight and see for yourself, because all these points I'm making are so you can see and understand and appreciate what Andre Ward was doing. A lot of you people think that Andre Ward was just clinching Kovalev. No, he was infighting. He'd tie him up, he'd tie up one arm, and he would hit with the other. Or he'd get Kovalev to tie up one arm, and then he would hit with his free arm. And that's infighting, right? And Ward's much better than Kovalev in that area. So that's what basically went down in that fight. And that's why Ward won the fight, whereas Kovalev didn't win the fight. And I can see how, very easily, I can see how Ward won the 10th round. It was a close round, and you saw that from my scoring. It was a close round, but it wasn't a round in which you could say that Kovalev clearly won. I just don't see that at all.